king, and the paid-off home mortgage has taken the place of the BMW.
Weekdays from 1 to 4 on WGNS. Now, more than ever, start your mornings with WGNS. The Action Line with Bart Walker. Weekday mornings at 8:10 on WGNS, AM, FM, online. Rutherford Issues with Brian Barrett on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSradio.com.
And we're broadcasting from the Middle Tennessee Electric Studios. You know, they serve members with more than just electricity. Their community outreach team works with schools, parents, and students to provide engaging and unique learning experiences. MTE, serving to make life better since 1936. It's time to talk to Nate Williams, Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation. We were just talking about how busy MTE was, and you've been out trying to assess some wind damage possibilities, I guess, making sure all the city properties are in good shape.
Yeah, we've I think just like everybody, Brian, we've had a little bit of damage. Our main thing right now is our phone systems at some of our facilities are messed up, so we're trying to assess that and get that fixed as soon as possible, just like it seems like a lot of people in Murfreesboro are.
Yeah, I mean, the wind event itself was much worse, and the forecasters told us that it probably would be versus the actual severe weather itself.
You know, it's funny. We've both been in Murfreesboro for a long time. I've seen bad storms when they come through, but I've never seen a day like Friday where the wind was blowing so hard, but it was seemingly nice outside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was really wild just to sit outside and kind of observe it. So, but we know people have their power out and they're dealing with some stuff, so hopefully we can get everybody back on track pretty soon.
Yeah, I had to chase my grill down at the next door neighbor, and my trash can was like 2 houses down, so, you know.
My wife called me. She said, what should we do if we start losing the trampoline? You know, we got one of those 16-foot trampolines. I said, let it go. So, yeah, don't try to hold it down. Hey, thanks for the theme music coming in. I noticed that.
Yeah. I remembered it this time, so, you know, it's right here on my page. I don't know why. I have been thinking about Parks and Rec because when we get to this time of the year and, you know, we've got girls state basketball this week and boys next week here in Murfreesboro. But, you know, when we go through this, it's always in the back of my mind, oh, gosh, spring fling is just around the corner. So and spring weather and outdoors and all your facilities, outside facilities are going to be popping here soon if they're not already.
They already are. And, you know, I give it a lot of credit. Murfreesboro residents and visitors to Murfreesboro really capitalize on our outdoor spaces throughout the course of the year. A lot of people have gotten into hiking, especially over COVID times. A lot of people went outside and got on the greenway and got on our trail system and make that kind of a daily habit. So it's really cool to see. But, yeah, our indoor stuff has stayed busy, but we're gearing up we got Spring Fling, which is we host 3 of the 5 spring state championships. That happens the last week in May, and it's something we've done for many years and look forward to hosting. And it'll, like you said, it'll be here before we know it.
Yeah, and you've got a huge soccer facility. I drove by, oh gosh, it was one day at the end of last week or maybe this last weekend.
Were you able to see it from the road?
Yes. Well,
okay, good.
I drove down Cherry Lane. It's kind of hard to miss.
Yeah. So, we're getting really excited. That building is 110,000 square feet, multi-purpose area, really going to be focused for soccer training. You can play soccer games. You can host all types of different activities out there. And we've been waiting. We've had just one little issue to get our CO. It's nothing bad. It's just a paperwork issue, but we should be able to get that facility up and going very, very soon. You
know, you've been here long enough to remember when we used to try to cram in all this stuff over by the airport. And, gosh, how fortunate are we to now have the Richard Siegel Soccer Complex out there. And, you know, I did a little segment a few weeks ago on the morning show about the legacy of Richard Siegel and the gifts that were made to the city. You've got that parcel of property and with his namesake and the Siegel. I mean, it's called the Siegel community really now, and that was pretty remarkable to think about that happening in the 90s.
Yeah, there was a lot of foresight that happened in the 90s. You know, there's some people like the Siegel family and others, but to be able to think about where the trajectory our community was growing, I think about what Dennis Ranier, who was a former director of our department, did for many years, but really had the vision for what it could become, and we're still trying to, fulfill that. And I think Dennis would be proud of where it stands now. You look at a facility like that, and then just the growth of our park system and the staff that we have are so creative and work so hard, to bring the stuff and to the community and most desirable programs and events and clean, safe, and fun facilities. We're really proud of that, and it's something we continually work on and have the opportunity to be able to do it because we're supported, and that's a great feeling to have, to be supported by a council and our city administration who believe in the benefit of parks and recreation and the role it can have in the community.
People that have, that ability to see into the future, and the needs of a growing community. Let's just take Dennis, for instance. I'm sure that he had ideas, but probably never imagined what we see today. And I wondered, you knew Dennis really well, and so did I.
Yeah.
I just think about sometimes what would he think about what he's seeing now, and I'm sure he would be very happy.
I would like to think that Dennis would be proud of where it's become. I think, you look in that time too. There's so much happened with the growth and then the support, along with the support and the vision from people like Bart Gordon and others, who thought about the greenway system. Kent Seiler, who worked really hard on that. Just to get a few miles to start out with, and now we have 20 miles of greenway in Murfreesboro. We have a place like Barfield that's 500 acres. For a municipality to be able to have a 500-acre, park that is, a large majority just preservation, it's something that, really makes Murfreesboro just a great place to, live, work, and play,
Well, in the next 20 years, I mean, if you don't have that park space now, where would it be as we continue to grow? So preserving that shows a really a lot of foresight, I guess, even decades ago.
Right, yeah. So when we just recently added 73 acres onto Barfield, and people would ask, what's the plans, what's going to be built here? And strategically, we said nothing. This is going to be used to preserve, and we'll educate and use it as a natural space, and just be able to have that for generations to come.
You've got, we kind of talked about spring a little bit and the outdoor facilities. I mean, do you have any signups going on, anything that we need to know about for folks who want to get involved in some of the upcoming outdoor sports at any of the facilities?
We have signups going all the time for all, various sports. People can go to murfreesboroparks.com. That's really the go-to to look at our calendar, to look at any types of events or, leagues that might be happening, and to sign up. You can even book pavilions now at murfreesboroparks.com. So we're trying to make that as user-friendly as possible. Right now we're also signing up for camps, and just like most years, we offer 30 camps over the course of the summer. And I think last time I checked, 16 of those were already full. So people are really gearing up for summer and getting excited. So if there's a camp that you want, you might want to check and make sure there's still availability. We do look at those, and we see if there's an area where we can add on, where there's ones where there's significant demand. So we're constantly evaluating that, maybe to lessen some of the waiting list. But it just goes to show you again, I'm just so proud of the staff that work hard, during the summer, really to provide these types of things on top of the existing facilities and programs that we have. But camps are something we take a lot of pride in. And it's here. I mean, if you're not planning now for camps, you're going to miss out. Yeah. It's it was like kind of compare it to getting like a Disney Fast Pass. When we opened it up last week, the morning of, it was people were trying really hard to get in specific camps, and we would love to not have to have waiting lists, but unfortunately, it's just so many camps you can offer, and there's only so many spaces. But we're constantly trying to add. Every year we add camps, so trying to fill that demand as much as we can.
I know that you told us all about MurfreesboroParks.com, and I'm on there and looking around. I see the Miracle League Park and Playground at McKnight. Sportscom is closed. Is still trying to get some things from that storm last week, I guess, going, right?
Yep. We're trying to keep everything. So that's just the Miracle League. That's actually from the freeze that we had, Brian. So we're affected at Miracle League. We're affected at Starplex, the concessions, and then Barfield, the restrooms. And we're working in all three of those right now. So we had some pretty extensive freeze damage that we're trying to address and get that up and going.
It's nice to have all of these facilities, but then you also have maintenance on all of these facilities as well. So that's all part of it.
Do. Yeah, we have a lot of facilities. We've got over 2,000 acres, and we've got a great staff that work hard to keep them. Like I said, every facility, our standard is they need to be clean, safe, and fun, and that takes a lot of work. We're fortunate now. The city has taken added a facilities maintenance division to the city, so it's able to help our maintenance staff focus maybe on some of the specialty stuff, and then this team comes in and helps us with the building aspect of all these. So yeah, we're growing as a city. It's not just parks and recreation and trying to find new efficient ways to maintain the facilities that we have.
And I guess the Murphy Springs boardwalk is part of that. And that's going to take a bit, isn't it?
That is. That's a unique pedestrian bridge. So we've had it assessed by engineering. We've had a couple engineers out there to try to come up with the best and safest way to repair that boardwalk. We understand how popular it is. We understand, what we're missing right now, especially days like we've had this weekend and today. It's a great place to go out with your kids. Anybody can go out there and just kind of escape for a little bit. So it's hurting us that it's still closed. But we're working hard to get the right people out there to, make sure we fix this thing correctly so it stays safe, for another couple decades.
And the thing about it is that bridge is vitally important to, it connects a couple of different, without it, it's really hard to enjoy the entire Murphy Springs boardwalk.
Yeah, it is. It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
And it's really important, too, as we look at, opening Town Creek and that development down Broad Street. That's going to be, like you said, vitally important. So we're trying to make sure we set it up and make it, get it up and going as soon as possible.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I've seen some action. Of course, it's like right out our back window here from the studio.
You're looking at it right now, right?
Yeah, actually, yeah. And I could see a few weeks ago there was some demolition that was going on one of those parcels of property. Any updates on that you can give us?
There's nothing I have. I do know that our development services team is working hard on that, and that's a project they've been working on for a long time. So I, as a longtime Murfreesboro resident, just excited to see that come to fruition.
To have that type of space in a downtown area and with other projects that are proposed in the downtown area, the next 5 years or so is going to be pretty remarkable to see some of the facelifting that's going on. Absolutely.
I think people are going to be really excited to see how that changes really the face of that area. It's going to rehabilitate that aesthetically that piece of property right across from City Hall and the existing fire admin office. But that fire admin office, it's interesting. I don't know if I told you, we're moving our administrative office and we're going to be sharing space with the fire department off of Thompson Lane. So that's something else that's coming. But I think you're going to see just a really intriguing redevelopment of that area, and it's going to be something I think our community is going to be very proud of.
Are you arm wrestling for the biggest office over there with fire department?
No, I don't arm wrestle with firemen. They take me pretty easy, I think, Brian.
Yeah, I drive by that piece of property for folks who are trying to think, well, where is that on Thompson Lane? It's right by the Dollar General, that Swanson property that, if you remember the Good Friday tornado that came through, it kind of demolished that building, and they built a nice building there, and now the city's going to be taking that.
Yeah, the city purchased that, and that's going to be, if you look at that building, the right side of the building will be the fire admin, and the left side will be the Parks and Recreation admin. And it'll be a good space. We're growing as a department in line with the city, so we still operate out of a house that's in front of Barfield Crescent Park, and we're really just busting at the seams here. So it'll be a good thing for us to be able to get in and continue the hard work of providing, quality programs, events, and facilities for Murfreesboro residents and people visiting Murfreesboro.
Any idea on when you might be making a move?
No, they're still, right now, they just did some kind of bid documents and let the contractors look at it, and then we'll get the bids in and go from there. We have to do some renovation. The second floor of that building was unfinished, so it's an opportunity to build it out the way it needs to be to fit, and fit the needs of both the fire department and Parks and Recreation.
Well, that sounds fun. Lots of great things going on. Man, I appreciate you spending some time with us today. I can hear the birds chirping in the background. It makes me want to get out.
Yeah, I cued those birds just for this interview. So,
Did you now?
yeah. Just for WGNS.
It makes us feel like we're there.
Well, come on out. It's nice.
Nate, appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thanks, pal.
And that is Nate Williams in Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation. And again, murfreesboroparks.com online, where you can find lots of info. murfreesboroparks.com. You can, he even mentioned, get those picnic shelters reserved and all kinds of things. Summer camp registration, all of that at murfreesboroparks.com. Thanks for being here today.
Hello friends, Lenny Farmer with Jennings & Ayers Funeral Home. More than I can count, we have taken care of families who were totally caught off guard with the passing of a loved one. There are so many details to tie up. It really can be overwhelming. Again, more than I can count are the comments from families who have pre-planned and pre-funded their or their loved one's funeral, saying, "I'm so thankful we took care of this ahead of time. It would have been a financial hardship had we not. Let me help you pre-plan." Call me at 615-893-2422.
It's time for today's reading of obituaries. Barbara Jean Luttrell Hicks, age 79, of Laverne, passed away Friday, March the 3rd. Born in Columbia, Tennessee, she was the daughter of the late Charles Edward Luttrell Sr. and Ruth Davis Luttrell. Mrs. Hicks was also preceded in death by her brothers, Charles Luttrell